Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a quick update on what's been going on lately. I know I've been quiet for the past 2 weeks or so. I'm in the middle of a move and I've been extremely busy. But nonetheless, I've had actual other issues as to why I haven't been able to do anything. For the past month and a half, I've had crash after crash. I've had a lot of issues with Unreal Engine. Um, and it's been getting progressively worse. And I think this is the error that I'm getting. I have a 770, and until about 414, everything was fine. But it's just been so bad that I've lost countless hours of work. I estimate that at least 10 hours of work I've lost just on blue screen of deaths on either the arcade space shooter template, which is the one I was originally working on, and even happened a few times on the Mirror Game Jam game. So I've pretty much done everything I could. I even reformatted the entire computer, and it's still happening. And I eventually bit the bullet and just bought a new computer because I think it's a hardware issue. Unfortunately, I think it's the GPU and the RAM, and there's just a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I'm not very happy. It's kind of ironic that I've been trying to work on stuff to give back to the community for free, and I can't even do that because my computer won't even let me. So there's going to be a long video coming up reviewing the Mirror Game Jam game because I do want to go over the project structure, how do you go about creating a new level, how do you use the save and load system, going over the code, how do you create a new level, and a bunch of other stuff, interesting stuff. But that's going to be a longer video, and I just can't even have Unreal Engine open for any amount of time without even crashing my computer. So unfortunately, that's that. But in the meantime, I actually had an idea of what my next project is going to be. And this is another game prototype that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it's going to be a side-scroller project. I've never done a 2D game before. And I thought back about, well, what's one of my favorite games of all time that's 2D? And I came up with Megaman X for the NES. My idea was to originally use Paper 2D to create a 2D project that mimics or is highly inspired by Mega Man X. And you can see here I have the sprite sheet. I ended up just going with a 2.5D project. So it's 3D, but it's going to be a 2D project, but it's going to have 3D models. And the reason for that is uh, I can actually model basic stuff in Blender, and I think it's easier to animate stuff in Blender with a skeleton than it is to create all of the different art pieces here, because this is actually creating the art, and I just have no clue. So yeah, so as soon as I get my computer, I'm gonna work on the Mirror Game Jam game video. So for those of you guys that have been waiting, I'm so sorry, it's coming. Um, and then the new project that I'm going to be working on, it's going to be small, but it's going to be hopefully a full prototype, and you're going to see some videos coming out. It's going to be a 2D platformer, shooting platformer. And you can see here again, just to give you some insight into the way I do these things. Maybe interesting to you, maybe not. But the first thing I do is kind of write down like a little spec sheet of what exactly I'm trying to do. And you can see here's a little description. It's going to be similar to Mega Man X, and you'll be able to get new abilities, and you'll be able to get new armor pieces, and you'll have different levels that you can select with bosses. And the very first thing I do is for every project is I select or I choose what exactly I'm going to learn, because that's one of my main reasons to do a project like this and sharing it with the community is I want to do something that I haven't done before. So I haven't done any animations at all. If you looked at my third person template, I straight up bought some AnimSet Pro animations, and I used Mixamo because I just didn't have time. I think it's time that I actually learn how to animate. So you can see if you look at the learn here, the very first thing is how to import and export the mannequin to Blender, and then how to actually create custom animations. So all of the little animations here that you see, I'm going to try to replicate in Blender, right? So if you do a dash like this sprite here, I'm going to try to do an actual animation that's going to be similar to this for his dash. Same thing for wall climbing, right? I'm gonna try to replicate that as well. So we'll see. Obviously, this is very, very early. I haven't even tried to do this animation, so it may end up really, really bad. But that's kind of the idea, right? I'm gonna relearn animations. I haven't done any 2D AI, right? The only AI I've done is the flying AI for the Star Fox type template. That it's still kind of work in progress. I haven't done any level select screens. I want to create a non-linear save system, which is the first time I'm going to do that, right? Because if you think about Mega Man, right, you can choose any level and you can do any kind of combination. I also want to use sockets to add different armor pieces, so that should be interesting. And of course, you want to have a list of powers that you can acquire, right? So you go to a level, you kill the boss, and you get a new power. And you can see like a list of abilities that I definitely want to add. It's like a dash, a wall jump, an air dash, and if you remember, Mega Man X had like this armor piece on the helmet that you can then break blocks. And of course, for powers, all I have right now is I'm going to use a data table, and that's going to define the color of the suit, which is basically going to be a material for X, what projectile you'll shoot, what the damage values are, etc. So that's pretty much it. Because I can't really use Unreal for much, I started uh, trying to develop my really, really shitty version of X using the Unreal Engine mannequin. All I did here is added a few things you can see here. I added like a little arm cannon, and instead of changing the hand, I decided to just add this little piece here. That way, some of the other animations from Epic can be used. I will be using the Unreal Engine skeleton. So all of the animations that I come up with, even if they're really, really shitty, you'll be able to export to any project as long as you're using the mannequin. And you can see there's like a little rocket pack here that I'm going to use. Maybe I'll have something like a double jump, and then I can have some particle effects coming up here. Uh, and hopefully it doesn't crash, but this is all I have right now. I've actually imported this model into a 2D project. You can see here, it literally is just testing out that I can actually import my new model. It's using the same skeleton, and all I've added as far as functionality is the ability to look up or down. So if you press up or W, the camera pans up, and if you press S or down, the camera pans down. And you can see that in a lot of the newer platformers that are going around. But the actual abilities like double jump, dash, those are fairly easy to implement, so that's going to be actually the easy part of the project. Wall jump I've never done, but I think it's probably going to be fairly simple to do. To me, the biggest thing that I need to learn is the animations, because I haven't done it before, right? So when you're dashing, I'm going to have to come up with the animation. When you're wall jumping, the animation. When you grab a new power, there's going to be a different animation, right? And if I want to take this farther and I want to create actual bosses, then I'm going to have to animate those as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Again, sorry guys for the silence. I know a lot of people have subscribed lately after I joined the game jam, so just know that I've been trying to do more stuff, and as soon as I get my new computer and get some time, expect hopefully this new project to come out. And I am hoping that you guys can give me feedback if you are a fan of the Mega Man games and you want to see a specific power from a boss. Let me know, and then when I'm creating the powers, then I can consider that as well. Also, if you are an artist and you would love to contribute, and you can definitely model something better than this little crappy version of X, then let me know, and then maybe I can use your models instead. But I definitely want to do the animations because that's part of the learning process. So anyway, I'm going to be pretty quiet for the next couple of weeks, but hopefully I can give you an update when I get my new machine and Unreal actually works. I'm not having so many issues. So in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be monitoring the forums, and if you like this idea of the 2D project, let me know. If you think it's a crappy idea, also let me know. Because this is going to be, again, a community project that I'm going to share at the end. So anything new that I add is going to be, again, open for you to learn. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much, and let me know what you think.